Have you ever had that moment when your ex, the one who walked away, the one who shattered you, suddenly reappears? Maybe it's a late-night message, a casual, "Hey, how have you been?" Or perhaps they get straight to the point, "I miss you, I've changed, I want another chance." At first, your heart stops. You wonder, is this it? Is this what I've been waiting for? But deep down, something feels off. Because if they truly loved you, if they genuinely valued you, why did they let you go in the first place? Why did it take losing you for them to realize what they had? And this is where most people make the biggest mistake. They take their ex back too easily. Overcome with emotions, caught up in the idea of finally getting what they wanted, they forget one crucial thing. A second chance is not a free pass. If you take them back without hesitation, without making them prove themselves, you send the message that they can leave and return whenever they please, that your love comes without conditions, that your self-worth is negotiable, and that can cost you everything, your self-respect, your dignity, your peace. Because what happens if they leave again? What if they repeat the same patterns? You'll be right back in the same place, only this time it will hurt even more. Because now you knew better. You see, missing someone isn't the same as valuing them. Wanting someone back doesn't mean they're ready for them. And saying, "I've changed," isn't the same as proving it. People say all kinds of things when they're afraid of losing you, but words mean nothing without action. So before you even consider letting them back into your life, stop, breathe, and ask yourself, do they truly deserve another chance? Not based on their words, not based on nostalgia, not based on the loneliness you might feel in this moment, but based on their actions, their growth, and their willingness to be different this time. The only way to find out? Ask them these 5 questions, questions that will expose their true intentions, questions that will reveal whether they've genuinely changed or if they're just trying to get you back for their own comfort. Because if they can't answer honestly, if they hesitate, if their words feel empty, then maybe they don't deserve you back. Before we dive in, I want you to write this affirmation in the comments. I deserve love that doesn't need second chances. Number 1. What do you really want from me? Is it love or is it loneliness? Do they truly want you, or do they just miss the comfort of what you gave them? This is the question that reveals everything, because an ex who truly wants you back isn't just returning to escape their own emptiness. They're coming back because, through deep self-reflection and genuine growth, they've realized losing you was the biggest mistake they ever made. But here's the truth. Realization and regret are not the same as change. Missing someone doesn't mean they value them. Wanting someone back doesn't mean they're ready for them. If they truly loved you, why did it take losing you to figure that out? What exactly are they looking for now? Reconciliation, or just relief from their own discomfort? Because there's a difference between wanting you and wanting what you gave them. People often mistake loneliness for love. But love isn't about filling a void. Love isn't about seeking comfort from someone just because life feels empty without them. If your ex is coming back just because they miss you, that's not enough. If they're only returning because they don't like the silence, because their bed feels too big, because no one else treats them the way you did, that's not love, that's fear. And when someone comes back out of fear, not out of deep appreciation, they're only looking for a temporary fix. Once they feel comfortable again, once the pain of being alone fades, the cycle will start all over. That's why you must ask them, what do you want from me? Their answer will reveal everything. An ex who truly wants you back will respect your boundaries. They won't push you into an instant decision. They won't manipulate you with guilt or nostalgia. They won't try to erase the past with empty promises. Instead, they will understand that trust is something to be rebuilt, not demanded. They won't just tell you they've changed, they will prove it, with consistency, patience, and action. But an ex who just wants comfort? They'll rush you. They'll say whatever they think you want to hear. They'll try to fast-track the reconciliation because they're not focused on you. They're focused on escaping their own loneliness. If you let them back in too easily, if you don't make them work for it, you risk teaching them that they can come and go from your life whenever they please. That your love is unconditional, no matter how they treated you before. That your worth is something they can take for granted. You need to ask yourself, if they truly loved me, wouldn't they have realized my value before losing me? Wouldn't they have fought harder before walking away? Wouldn't they have chosen me when it actually mattered? A person who genuinely wants to be with you will never make you feel like an option. They will never put you in a position where you have to question their intentions. They will never come back just because they need you. They will come back because they choose you. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a person perfected without trials." In the same way, love that hasn't been tested, love that hasn't gone through growth and change, is just an illusion. If they cannot give you a clear, honest answer to this question, if they hesitate, if their words feel rehearsed, if their reasoning is rooted in fear rather than love, then maybe the real question is, do you even want them back? Now, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I am not someone's comfort zone. I am someone's choice. Number 2, how will you rebuild trust? Trust was broken, whether they lied, cheated, made empty promises, or simply walked away when you needed them most. Something happened that made you stop believing in them. And here's the truth. Love alone doesn't fix trust. Love is easy to say. Love is easy to feel in the moment. But trust is built through action, through consistency, through time. If your ex is telling you they want another chance, the real question is, how will you prove to me that I can rely on you again? Because words mean nothing without proof. Anyone can say, I've changed. Anyone can promise it won't happen again. But what happens when things get difficult? What happens when old patterns creep back in? A person who has truly changed doesn't just say the right things. They do the right things, even when no one is watching. Trust isn't something that magically returns just because they want it to. It's something they have to earn. And if they don't have a clear, solid answer to how they plan to do that, you have your answer. Because someone who genuinely understands the damage they caused will also understand that an apology isn't enough. They will know that trust isn't given, it's rebuilt. If they get frustrated, defensive, or impatient, then they were never serious about rebuilding trust in the first place. And if they cannot answer this question with honesty, depth, and a clear plan, then maybe the real question is, why would you risk trusting them again? Drop this affirmation in the comments. My trust is earned, not given. Number 3. What changed? Me, you, or just your feelings? People don't just wake up one day and decide they want their ex back. If nothing real has changed, then nothing real will be different this time. Love doesn't magically appear where it never existed. A person who once took you for granted, ignored your needs, or walked away can do it again, unless something fundamental has shifted. So ask them directly, what's different? If they can't give you a clear, honest answer, then chances are they're only back because of fleeting emotions, not true transformation. A person who has truly changed will be able to explain how and why. They won't just say, I miss you, or I realize now how much I love you. They will acknowledge what went wrong, what they've learned, and what they've done to ensure it never happens again. They will have real experiences, real growth, and real actions to support their words. But someone acting on impulse, their answers will be vague. They'll focus on how they feel rather than what they've done. They'll tell you they just know they want you back, but they won't be able to explain why they let you go in the first place. And if they don't understand what changed, how can they promise anything will be different? The truth is, people often return not because they suddenly value you, but because they suddenly fear losing you. Maybe they saw you moving on. Maybe they realized you're no longer waiting. Maybe they thought they had time to explore their options, only to discover that you were the best thing they ever had. But wanting you back out of regret, loneliness, or jealousy isn't the same as being ready for a real relationship. It's easy to feel something when you're afraid. It's easy to want someone when you think they might slip away. But relationships aren't built on fear. They're built on mutual love, mutual respect, and real commitment. If they have truly changed, their actions will prove it before their words ever do. They won't just say they're ready. They will show you, through patience, effort, and accountability. They won't pressure you into an immediate answer. They will understand that real change takes time to prove. They will respect the fact that trust isn't rebuilt overnight, that words alone don't undo past mistakes, and that this time has to be different. But if they get frustrated when you ask this question, if they brush it off, if they act defensive, if they make you feel guilty for not immediately believing them, then they're not back for the right reasons. They just don't like the idea of losing you. And there's a big difference between missing you and being ready for you. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." If their thoughts have truly changed, their actions will reflect it. But if they are still the same person, with the same mindset, making the same choices, then this is not a second chance. It's just a repeat of the past. So ask them, what really changed? And if the only answer they have is their feelings, then the only thing that will change again is their mind. I want you to drop an affirmation in the comments. I will not mistake loneliness for love. Number 4. What exactly do you regret? A real apology isn't just "I miss you" or "I made a mistake." It's about understanding what went wrong, because regret without reflection is meaningless. So, before you even consider giving them another chance, ask them, what do you actually regret? Do they regret hurting you? Or do they regret losing the benefits of being with you? There's a difference between regretting the consequences of their actions and regretting their actions themselves. A person who only regrets losing you is thinking about themselves. A person who truly regrets hurting you is thinking about you. A real apology isn't about guilt. It's about responsibility. If they can't clearly explain what they did wrong, why they did it, and how they've changed since then they're not ready to fix anything. Anyone can say, "I'm sorry," but what exactly are they sorry for? Are they sorry for how they treated you? Or just sorry they no longer have access to your love, care, and attention? Are they sorry for breaking your trust? Or just sorry that their actions had consequences? If their regret is rooted in their own loss, rather than in your pain, that's not accountability. That's selfishness. True regret means they've taken the time to reflect. It means they've looked back on the relationship not just with longing, but with awareness. They've seen where they failed. They've understood the impact of their choices. They've recognized the moments where they let you down. And most importantly, they've made changes to ensure they don't repeat the same mistakes. Because regret without change is just manipulation. If they haven't learned, if they haven't grown, if they haven't done the inner work, then nothing is different except the fact that they no longer have you. The way they answer this question will tell you everything. If they get defensive, if they minimize what happened, if they try to shift the blame onto you, then they don't truly regret their actions. They regret the outcome. If they say things like, "I just regret letting you go," or "I regret not fighting for us." That's not enough. What do they regret doing? What do they regret not doing? How do they plan to do better? If they can't give you specifics, if they can't take full accountability, then their regret is shallow and their apology is empty. A person who truly regrets hurting you will acknowledge the pain they caused, without excuses. They won't just say, "I never meant to hurt you," because intent doesn't erase impact. They will recognize that their actions, regardless of intention, caused real damage. They will understand that an apology is not about making themselves feel better. It's about showing you that they understand, that they care, and that they are willing to take real steps to repair the harm they caused. And if they're not willing to do that, then what are they really asking for? A second chance or a second opportunity to take you for granted? The Stoic philosopher Seneca wisely said, "A person who is not ashamed of their past has no reason to change their future." Regret should come with a deep understanding of the past, not just a wish to rewrite it. If they truly regret what they did, they won't just talk about it. They will show it, in their actions, in their growth, in the way they carry themselves now versus who they were then. But if they can't explain what they regret with honesty, if they can't take full ownership of their role in what happened, then they're not ready for another chance. Because real regret isn't just about looking back, it's about making sure the same mistakes don't happen again. Drop an affirmation in the comments.